right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Christian Kuntz Podcast. I'm here with my boys Vinny and Trey.
It's cracking.
Jesse behind the boards as always. Tiger Hood, a.k.a. Swings, in the building. We're
Tiger Hood.
That's his
He's
new
got
name.
links.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh. We got Jesse on the boards.
Yeah, that's over there. Look at him. He's on the boards. He doesn't even know what the hell he's doing.
He's got all the boards, doesn't he?
We are joined by a very special guest today, a former Pittsburgh Pirate who I vaguely remember. Not vaguely, actually. I vividly remember.
Damn, I'm not that old.
Yeah, not that old. I vividly remember
Jeez.
hitting home runs in left field.
There you go. That's better.
Fort Michael McKenry. Yeah. I have a special announcement, an event that I am hosting and emceeing, the second annual Pittsburgh Toys for Tykes Gala on April 5th. It's at Strategos Banquet Center, North Huntington, PA. The tickets are $125 per person. There'll be dinner, dancing, prizes, Chinese and silent auctions, special guests, myself. I'll be emceeing my first event. Come join me. There's sponsorship opportunities. www.toysforpittsburghtykes.com. The link will be in the bio. Again, April 5th, second annual gala. This is an organization that's near and dear to my heart, and they help my organization, Kuntz for Kids, provide toys for kids all over the city during the holidays, and they're unbelievable there, and they're great for the city. So come out and support. Get your tickets. Be a sponsor. Click the link in the bio. Check us out. Thank you, everyone. How you feeling today, Fort?
Better now. I mean, you just kind of dig me a little bit. I feel a little heavy too. You're hanging from me a little.
I didn't mean I didn't mean it like that. But I gotta ask you now.
No, you completely redeemed yourself.
I did.
Yeah, you did. Like Dumb and Dumber, right? You just came right back and slam dunk.
There it was, right there. I gotta ask you now that we have you here, because the Fort nickname originated in Pittsburgh, right? Mm-hmm. Do you like the nickname? Me and my brothers loved the nickname for you. We were like, every time you got up, we were fucking like, the Fort, let's go. Walk-off homer. Like, you have multiple walk-off homers, too. I remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's a humbling nickname.
Yes.
And I mean, it could have been douchebag. So, yes, I absolutely love the Fort. And, being a military guy, I absolutely love our military, love the United States. And being a part of that for years and getting the Fort nickname and knowing now that Bob Walk is a huge military buff, and he's the one that started it.
Wow.
Greg Brown made it famous with my first home run against Marmol. So, yeah, it followed me everywhere, which that's not something you would think. You think in Pittsburgh it's just going to stay. Followed me to Colorado, followed me to St. Louis, followed me everywhere I went after here, and then I came back, and it's almost taken on a life of its own. So, yes, it's absolutely badass.
I feel like it mixes with Pittsburgh, too. Like, we have the Fort Pitt Tunnel. We have Fort McKenry.
Oh,
we got everything. We do. We literally do. It's
Fort
crazy.
Pitt,
Yeah.
Fort McKenry, whoa. Yeah.
You were made to be a Pittsburgh Pirate, so.
Man, I felt that right when I came to Pittsburgh. I knew nothing about Pittsburgh when I got traded here, but when I got here, first time on the field, we won the game, and there was an aura about it, and it's never left. I feel like it's in my veins.
I feel like we get that a lot with people that, whether it's football guys that came in or whoever professional athlete in Pittsburgh, they're they feel the love, and I don't know if that's the fans, if that's us.
It's you.
I truly I think it's a testament to the people of Pittsburgh. They're
100%.
fucking awesome
For sure.
Yeah, they're incredible. The only thing I need is a pap.
Papple.
You said it when I walked in today, and I need a pap.
Yeah, you
I
did.
didn't have a grandpa growing up.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah,
I need a pap. You had a pap, right?
I had a pap.
I need a pap.
I was
telling.
telling.
No, I
So we need two paps.
Is a pap a Pittsburgh thing?
I used to call my grandpa Pap and Papple.
Never heard it
Really?
other than Pittsburgh.
I heard Papa, but I don't know.
What'd you say, Papa?
Papa?
Yeah,
I've
Papa.
heard
It sounds
that.
like ice cream cone.
Hey, call it what you want to call it.
I like it.
It's a good one, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I need a pap. We need two paps.
I'll be your pap, bud.
Will you?
Yeah.
No, he was saying that because we used to
Do I
watch.
sit on your lap, or how does that work?
I mean, I think it might be a little weird, but
I think I'm older than you too, so it's even cooler.
No, I don't think that will work. He's
Well,
older
that's
than you.
No. Oh, pap.
No, no more with the Pap.
That got awkward.
I want to talk about your journey into the league and dating back to Little League. Were you always a catcher?
I always wanted to be a catcher. I was wild, rambunctious, a lot of energy. So it was natural fit back there because I was a part of everything.
Could definitely picture that.
Yeah, you probably could see that, right? So that's where I wanted to be, but I was a good enough athlete that they kept moving me around. So
Yeah.
obviously, the best player usually plays shortstop or pitches in Little League, and I kind of naturally went there. But I did catch from 8 years old all the way through college, but it really defined me when I got to college.
So
I
how
really
do-
wanted to catch then.
How do your be completely honest? How do your knees feel now?
Knees are good. 5 knee surgeries later. Yeah.
5 knee surgeries
Damn.
after baseball or during your whole time.
I had 4 during baseball. I had 2 in college. 1 was due to MRSA. I almost lost my leg in
Whoa.
05.
Wow.
Well, you put this helmet on, so you probably have it again.
Yeah. I think I have it in my brain now. Little worms or something floating around. No, I'm completely
no,
immune.
no.
I'm good. But yeah, and then I had 2 meniscal repairs. I was born with 2 tilted meniscus. So a catcher with tilted meniscus, they were bound to tear. So yeah, they tore and got them fixed, and it's part of the reason why my career didn't last as long as I wanted to in the big leagues.
I feel like catcher's one of those positions where like you always have someone you look up to. I don't know. I from backyard baseball, Ivan Rodriguez. Like he was the cat.
Pudge.
Pudge. Like everyone loved Pudge. Who was that guy for you growing up? Like catcher, you're like, damn, I want to play in the MLB. That's who I want to be like.
Well, Pudge, obviously, he's 5'9", and he was yoked out of his mind. So
He was,
I loved him
yeah.
immediately. Actually got to play against him. I have a picture. It's one of the coolest moments. Probably should have got him to sign it, but I was too awestruck. I'm catching, he's hitting, and then vice versa.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
that's dope.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
he's a guy I look up to as a kid, and then all of a sudden I'm playing against him. It was incredible. But probably even cooler moment, I was a Braves fan my entire life.
Yeah.
Javi Lopez, if you know that name.
Yeah.
He was my catch partner my first big league camp.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
In Colorado, I see Javi Lopez and I see Marcus Giles, 2 of my favorite players all time. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is wild. Marcus Giles was like on cocaine and speed all at the same time. So we hit it off great. But Javi, man, like just low key, simple, and was still an incredible talent. I think he was hitting 350. They ended up releasing him because he couldn't catch anymore. But man, that dude flat out hit, and he just poured into me every single day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's a good way to
hear.
start your career.
Hell yeah. I feel like baseball is a little bit different in a sense of like Derek Law was on yesterday, I was telling you, and he was telling us he pitched against Poppy.
Yeah.
And like
Poppy hit me in the head. I'll never forget it.
that stuff's like crazy. Those are guys that we grew up playing backyard baseball or watching and imagining ourselves being like. And
Right.
I feel like you don't get that in football because the shelf life in football is not as long.
But do you feel like there's more of a higher chance for a rookie to play with their kid hero
Yeah.
than there is in baseball than any other sport?
Ken Griffey.
Yeah.
I mean, I know LeBron's playing with his son, but that's
But
the
like
only
that's like
since,
that's like once.
bet
in a
it's
Yeah, I think.
happened in
I mean,
baseball more.
it's as you guys know, any professional sport, it's incredibly hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's even harder to stay there. But yeah, like if you're talking about an icon, those guys are staying around for 10, 11, 12 years. I mean, you play baseball for a long time, especially now with the DH in both leagues.
Right.
So yeah, I think the opportunity to possibly play with somebody you looked up to is endless right now. I mean, you look at some of the guys there's somebody that looked up to Kutch on the Pirates. You could probably name 15 of them
yeah.
that they're playing with the guy that they looked up to. I mean,
That's
David
crazy.
Bednar's a great example. I mean, he grew up in Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh.
and I'll never forget meeting him. He's like, dude, you're one of my favorites. He's like, bro, you're one of my favorites, right? He's a rookie. I mean, that's really cool. It's humbling, makes me feel old, but Kutch gets it all the time, and that's the coolest part about baseball. It is a tight-knit group, and it's a family.
Yeah, that is cool because football you don't really get that much because obviously the shelf NFL not for long,
Not for long,
shelf
baby.
life, and then I feel like when you're
Look at the helmet. Says enough.
yeah that was
Looks like a murderer's row helmet.
Thank you. There was a lot of big hits with that helmet.
That was all you, baby.
I feel like you dropped that helmet a couple times on the pavement.
It took a couple hits to my mom's side wall, make it look like I did some extra.
Was that
shit.
her doing it or you?
That was me.
Okay,
I was like,
fair.
Mom, keep this for everybody to see when they come in. Make sure they know I was tackling shit in college because I'm not
Just
tackling
lamps
shit
and
now.
stuff.
I'm not.
That's great. Hey, you got a great job.
Oh, dude, the best. I feel like when I remember Pirates did a TikTok or something, and one of the pitchers, they were asking what position they would want to play if they were in the NFL. Everyone's like, receiver. I'd be a quarterback. I'd be this. The one dude's like, long snapper. Best job in the world. I'm like, that dude's a smart guy. I gotta get him on here. He knows. He's like, you just get down.
You gotta
and
find out
snap.
who that is.
Yeah, you gotta look back. They
But
put
it's hard to long snap.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
Like I mean, you're bent over, kind of
Yeah.
awkward, and you toss that football spiral,
Yeah.
hit him in the chest, you're upside down, bro. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
So kudos to you.
Thank you.
So I don't care what he said. I would not want to be the long snapper because every time you snap the ball, it matters.
Yeah, you're right.
It's thankless.
Not to get in your head.
No, I don't think about
Christian
it. Like,
Kuntz now has a sports psychologist helping him.
hey, well, every time you catch a ball, like you drop a ball, base runner goes to the next
No.
base. Yeah,
We keep it in front. We catch the ball. That's what we do.
that's why you were called the fort.
Believe it.
Does that hurt when a fastball's coming like 95, hits the dirt and hits you in the chest? Because your plates aren't that shit's not that thick.
No, it's like Downy. It's not thick at all. I enjoyed it. I don't know if that makes me weird or if it makes me kind of
Yeah,
into
you're
the
weird.
category that
Love
we
you,
don't
though.
need to talk about on here. But I loved it. I really did. I felt it was like a badge of honor when I kept the ball in front.
Yeah, that's sick, kind
But
of.
I mean, also coming up in the old school era, going back to that first big league camp, I'll never forget. They turn on the machine. It's 90 plus miles an hour, sliders in the dirt, day one blocking. I had welts all over me, and I loved it.
You were like Happy Gilmore.
I did.
365 days more.
Love
What
it.
is wrong with you, dude?
He should be a
Well,
football
probably-
player,
I
bro.
probably should have been football, but
He's a
it
football
wouldn't have
player.
lasted as long. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. I could see you like in front of the thing like
That
this.
boy's all-star, right? Like,
Yeah.
boy's a linebacker, fullback.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have lasted very long. No. Maybe a fullback. Yeah.
No, you don't think you could have played football?
I don't know. I wanted to. I wanted to punt and kick.
Good
I
too.
grew up with the Colquitts.
Oh yeah.
So they were going to teach me how to punt, and it ended up not working out because the day I showed up, I was in the linebacker group. So I was like, see ya. Didn't want to get hurt because we sucked at football.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Tennessee, 5A school, big school, and we weren't good, and they pretty much ran into each other and hurt themselves. So I was like, I'm out.
So what? You just stuck to baseball, went to Middle Tennessee
Played
State.
basketball until I realized I was height challenged and maybe light skinned. So I chose baseball. I figured that was my way to go. I wasn't Larry Bird. Let's just say that.
Was the UT your dream school, and then you kind of landed at Middle Tennessee
No, I
State?
hate Orange actually. So
All right, fair.
so
how'd
I
you
wanted
end
to
up
go
in
to
Middle
Middle Tennessee. First, I wanted to go to Clemson. I know there's Orange there, but it's because of the coach. And because I couldn't go to Clemson, I hated Orange. So I said no to UT and really didn't get recruited the way I thought I would. I was one of the best players in the state, still hold a bunch of records, but back in the day, numbers didn't matter as
Yeah.
much. Now you can kind of have numbers everywhere and kind of pimp yourself out. Back then, it wasn't like that. So I started writing letters to a bunch of different schools. Then Middle Tennessee finally kind of caught on. Kentucky came on late, and it was between those two schools, and I love Dodger Blue, so it was going to be one or the other. Middle Tennessee had a better opportunity for me.
Was that close to home for you?
About 2.5 hours. I wanted to go away from home. Like
Yeah,
I
at
felt like
least
it was
a
a
little
chance
bit.
to grow up.
Yeah. Did you start right away when you got there, or how was that transition?
Well,
Coming
I
from
didn't
high
hit my
school.
GPA my first year, which if you don't know anything about baseball, it's not good, right?
Yeah.
I had a 3.8, made the dean's list, hit 169, so I didn't even hit my weight.
Damn.
And it's because I tried to be something I wasn't. You know, I went in, had a great fall. I got picked on by some of the older guys based on, past experience playing against them in high school and beating them. I got hit every time I faced one of the
Really?
ace guys. Yeah, he hit me every single time. So I felt like I had something to prove. I had a huge fall. Knew I wasn't going to play in the spring as a starting catcher, but everything started out incredible. Called a perfect game my very first collegiate start. My first hit was a grand slam. My second hit was a grand slam.
What? Damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then
First and second hit were grand slams.
yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
Wow.
and then it just kind of fell apart because all of a sudden I'm playing in left when I was recruited as a catcher, and I'm worried about that. And then I started to struggle. It was the first time I ever failed. I'd never failed in my life. Here I am. I'm failing because I can't hit a slider down and away, and I'm pressing. I'm doing more. I ended up putting myself in the hospital, hitting too much and working too much because I didn't know what it was like to fail. So it was a gift in the long run,
Wow.
but it was really hard to go through, and nobody was really there saying, "Hey, dude, chill.
Yeah.
Like you're good. You're really good.
Just be
You can figure this
yourself."
out." Yeah. So I went to summer ball. First day, I'm taking BP. I could take some BP now. Love taking BP. Love hitting homers in BP. And my coach pulled me aside after a little inter squad. I struck out 3 times. Sliders down away. Just couldn't hit it. He goes, "Meet me here tomorrow. Blah blah blah. We're gonna figure this out." And sure enough, showed me a couple things, got me in my legs, ended up being an all-star that summer, MVP of the all-star game, came back, all region, all conference, everything, even with some injuries throughout the year. And then I was an All-American, got drafted.
So you talked about, we'll get into the draft because I want to talk about that. But you talked about you were a catcher. Yeah, the baseball draft's crazy. But you were a catcher. They're trying to transition you to left field, right field, whatever else you said, maybe second base. Talk about how hard that is for a baseball player, because I feel like we see that often with guys. You were just talking about a couple different players that you might know that are transitioning in spring training. Like, how hard is that for a guy that's played, his whole career, and then they get to the biggest stage and then just switch positions on the diamond? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why does that happen? Why does that happen so often?
So I'm going to use what a lot of the parents and coaches are using now in youth sports.
Play every
sport.
Yeah.
No, play multiple positions. You don't have to play every sport.
Yeah.
Right? Be an athlete on the field. When you go to the weight room, be an athlete. When you go play pickup basketball, be an athlete. And I think if you do that, once you go into whether it's high school, college, pro ball, or even in the big leagues, if you've paid attention and you just remember to be an athlete, you can figure some things out because there's a lot of information to tell you where to stand. It'll give you information on, hey, you're better to the right than you are to the left, as you know. All that's out there. If you use it to your advantage, you can pretty much figure out just about anything. And you can figure it out to an advantage for you and the team. I think a lot of kids and a lot of pro guys, whether it's ego or whatever it is, they're like, I'm a catcher. I'm the best. Nobody can touch me. I'm like, well, you can't get at bats, so you might as well try something else, right?
Yeah.
And it's don't allow someone to take your destiny child, whatever. Anyways, you cannot let them have control over your career. So you say, hey, I'm going to take ground balls. And as you do it, I've done this with many kids, like eventually like, dude can hit, he can play a couple different positions. We need a first baseman, go play first base. Yeah. But if you sit back and allow people to completely kind of roadmap your career, it's not going to work. Because you probably know, I mean, you fought to get to the NFL and you fought to stay there. It's not an easy path, and it's your path. It's your responsibility. You have to take ownership. So I tell every kid, whatever the coach asks you, you say, that's my best position. It's funny you ask. I'm second base, best position.
Yeah.
Right? I did that my last year playing, and I ended up pitching, playing second, left, right, first. I did it all. Because every time he asked, I was like, it's my best position.
That's good advice.
I just wanted to play.
Yeah. I feel like every kid wants to play shortstop in bad third.
Yeah, and
or whatever.
It blew my mind going to USA Baseball. 6 shortstops make a 20-man squad for the 18U. 6. So one's playing first, one's playing center, one's playing second, one's playing third. It's unreal because the best athletes are where? Shortstop. So they invite all these shortstops in. You'll have some of the best kids in the country. The top 25, you'll see 6 shortstops in high school, and they're spread out all over the place. Like Connor Griffin, the guy we took last year, shortstop. He played center. The guy taken right after him, Bryce Rayner, I think he was 10th overall. He was shortstop. He played first base. Because there was a shortstop. He's at UT.
Yeah.
Manny Marin, I believe. He's playing third base at UT. Because those guys you can move and you know the ability's there.
Yeah.
So they just say, hey, go take it over. And sure enough, because they were willing to hop around throughout their career, they could do it like that.
Wow.
It's crazy. Because I feel like every day, a new lineup comes out and you're looking at the lineup and you're like, oh, new guys at third base, a new guys in right field, a new guys in center field. Oh, Kutch isn't in the lineup.
It's so hard.
It's like, what is going on? And these guys are still like on their shit always.
Yeah,
like
some guys are made for it. Like
Triolo.
Triolo.
Yeah.
I think he's incredible at moving around and adapting no matter where you put him. But it's because he's such a great athlete and he has baseball IQ and awareness. Yeah. Some things you can't teach. And him and Key Brian Hayes have the ability to be at the right place, the right time, and slow the game down in a different way.
Yeah, he played third base one game I was there. He played right field. He played left.
Dude, that was his first game in right.
He played first base. Did he play a game at first base?
He's our best first baseman.
He played first base. He played third. He was at second at one point. I'm like, what the hell? They got this guy everywhere. But
no matter where you put him, other than third base on the Pirates and catching, he's the best. He's the best player on the field.
Wow.
Defensively.
Wow.
Pitcher too.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. Are there a lot of like I wouldn't say egos, but I would say like obviously there's egos, but in a football locker room, your quarterback is your like your guy. Like that's your leader. That's your guy that everyone gets behind. Obviously, he's your highest paid player. Like in football, most of the time. Is that in baseball? Like, is that a guy like Skenes for us, or is that a guy like a big bat veteran guy in the lineup, or like who do the young guys kind of go to for like advice or any kind of like support?
It's a really good
leadership.
question. And it's different in every team. I think Skenes has that role. Kutch obviously is the vet.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
been around
Kutch.
a long time, but he's not the guy that's going to be out in front. He's not going to – if he's calling a meeting, you're in bad shape. But he's going to lead from
Example, what he's
example.
doing.
He's going to pull guys aside. He's going to have really cool conversations with the guy. He got really close with Oviedo 2 years ago, and I watched him completely change the way he pitched guys. And that was a lot of Kutch and him going back and forth, him pouring into him in a different way. But our leader probably this year is Tommy Pham. And I think there'll be another guy that steps up. I'm interested to see who it is. But you have Paul Skenes and Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham is going to take a lot of what Kutch has had to do the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That isn't necessarily his personality that I think is really going to help Kutch, benefit on the field because he's not going to have to, walk into the manager's office and kind of facilitate things. Some guys are really good at that. Other guys aren't. And in baseball, you have glue guys. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's veteran guys that have been around a long time or guys that, are really good bench players that kind of facilitate that clubhouse. I took a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
And then there's certain guys like Skenes and, a DeGrom or Max Scherzer that will step out in front and be that leader. But it's not as evident as it is in football where it's the highest paid guy or it's the best player.
Yeah.
It's always different.
Yeah. Do you have a specific like story or experience that was like very pivotal in your career? Was it the failing part when you first realized that, or is there something that happened early on that really kind of set you into a direction that you look back at now and go, I think that's where things really started to blossom? And just speak on the importance of that, especially in baseball. I think baseball's like a weirder sport in that way.
Long story short, when I was 5, a man who I thought was my grandfather, so I looked up my pap. He ended up not being my grandfather. Long story. But he gave me a glove. It almost looked like this color and said, this glove you're going to use in the big leagues. And I was naive enough to believe it. And that changed my entire life. Because, I was dumb enough to say, yeah, I'm playing in the big leagues. So anytime anybody asked, what are you going to do? Wasn't an astronaut, wasn't a doctor. I was playing in the big leagues. And I say that speaking things into existence is real. Because I said I was going to be an All-American as All-American. So I was going to get drafted my junior year. Got drafted. I even said I was going to be a Hall of Famer. I am, but I didn't clarify which one.
Yeah.
Right? And I say be so specific that it's weird because you never know what you may fall onto. And I was lucky to have a good career and, hit some milestones. And I feel like my path is still being written because I think I'm maybe a coach more than I am a player.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
I like that. Definitely like that. me
You
being a
pointed
coach.
to yourself.
Because
Why did you do that?
he said something that I say a lot of times when I feel like you guys might have asked me, why did you when I was in between teams and transitioning from I did a position change myself, linebacker to long snapping. I got cut 7, 8 times. I was putting in
You just kept going.
Yeah, and I was too dumb. I was literally too dumb to realize how hard it was to make it. So I just kept going because I was too dumb and too naive to be like, dude, this is a long.
Or were you too persistent to fail?
Yeah, well, there's a healthy balance, I feel like, but
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that was kind of that was crazy. You said that because I said that to you guys when you guys asked me the same question, what pivotal moment or what kind of motivated you? It was just I was almost too dumb and I was too persistent on not failing. That was cool.
Yeah, the one thing I regret is not reevaluating when I got to the big leagues because it took me.
What do you mean what do you mean?
So
about that?
for 3 years of my career, they kept telling me I could be a number 1 guy. Instead of saying, no, I'm going to be the best damn backup I can be. And then when I finally settled in on that, I had 3 years in the big leagues, a little bit more. And I did. I had the best year of my career. I was the best backup in the big leagues. And I got hurt the following year. But because I didn't establish that early on and just own it, right?
Yeah.
Don't allow them to tell you one thing and then keep changing it and believe it because then you are an idiot and I was an idiot. And when I finally just bought in, the freedom I had to go play because I didn't worry about if I was going to be in the lineup that day. I was like, I'm going to play every 5 days. And if I played every 3 days, it was even better. If I played every day, even better. But I did everything that offseason, everything, into the season, throughout the year, based around I'm going to serve my pitchers. I'm going to win every game I possibly can when I play. And I'm going to do everything I can at the plate to compete and win. Not worry about timing, not worry about all the crap they were saying because it didn't make sense.
So the role of a backup catcher, and I didn't even think about this until you started talking about it, because you see guys come in, like I know who caught for Skenes last year but was different. Like we have different catchers that come in.
Yeah, Grandal.
Okay.
Yeah, he hit like 380 when he caught Skenes, believe it or
Yeah.
not. I think he hit 210 on the year.
So is that that's like the backup catcher's role to, have a significant, like have one other pitcher he's like designated to that's like
sometimes some people believe in that, some don't. I definitely do. I think you have a rapport with certain guys.
Why is that? Is that just like how much you've caught him, or you catch his curveball a little different than how
A little bit of everything. Like, so when I call a game, I think about the person first. I don't think about the philosophy. I don't think about the analytics. I think about what's his personality, right? Is he high strung? Is he tough to manage off the field? Like what does he like to do on the off day? Like there's a lot of things that go into it, but like I can tell you whether I can push him one way, push him the other, if I have to stay in the lane, get the trust. Like it's all about the relationships and communication. And if he doesn't believe that I'm there for him, you're never going to win. So like as a backup, my goal was to have everybody on my side. But yeah, I had certain guys that like I could close my eyes, put my glove there, put a sign, not even really put a sign down. I know it's coming because we'd be on the same page. But the biggest wins are when they would deviate with you. Like I was in St. Louis and Jeff Karstens, one of my favorite guys to catch in a Pirates uniform. I got him to throw a slider below the zone that day, and we struck out, I think, 9. And he doesn't strike guys out with the slider. It's usually just a rollover pitch to righties, doesn't throw it to lefties at all. But I saw something, and I was like, hey, you got me? He's like, I got you. Let's go. In 7 innings, we win the game, and he gave me credit. And you don't forget days like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like I was just with Jorge De La Rosa. A lot of guys didn't like catching him. Hot on the mound, super competitive, would literally bite your nose off to win a baseball game.
I love that, though.
I'm all in,
Yeah,
right? He's my guy. Well, in 15, our starting guy, they didn't get along at all. He would not deviate and not call the game that De La Rosa wanted. And, dude, you could throw his changeup anytime in the count, anytime he wanted. And I knew what he wanted to do. 0-2, he wants to throw a fastball as hard as he can. Away, it's going to miss up most of the time. And he'll get swing and misses, but the guy knows it's coming. Everybody on the planet knows it's coming.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going to throw that curveball his 3rd time around through. And some guys just will not leave that scouting report. But the game tells you everything.
Yeah.
It's right in front of you, right? We're off the field of play. It's out here. I get to dictate kind of the whole entire game, so I love catching. But it's all about him. How can we win today with your best stuff, your worst stuff, or maybe the in-between? The in-between's always the hardest.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey, if you got something.
No, I can just tell you're going to be a better coach. I mean, you must have been a great player, which I still think you're a great player because I remember you from a kid. But, like, I think you're going to be an even better coach because I've also seen you in the batting cages, like, calling out exactly what McCutcheon's going to do before he even – like, I'm talking about Christian. I've never seen nothing like this. My man ain't even put the bat in his hands yet. He's like, watch this. He's going to pick his back leg up when he shouldn't. I was like, huh? But I'm sitting there, mind you, I'm fascinated because I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just sitting there, him and Swinger having a great time. Literally did exactly what the hell he said he was going to do. I was like, that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's certain people that you could tell, like, you're a great player, but, like, how they interact with the guys, how they talk to the coaches, you're like, you're going to coach.
You're going to coach.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to coach.
Yeah, I want you to emphasize on that. How, like, please explain to the people, like, how big of a mental game the game of baseball is, and do you think it is the most mental balanced game along with athleticism and hand-eye coordination? Because I don't think people understand how mental baseball is. I always compare it to, it's like live chess, like, to me. So can you explain that?
Yeah, and I think even more so today because there's so many nerds involved.
Right. The analytics.
It's become,
crazy.
A land of like Harvard grads, Yale grads that are creating algorithms.
Moneyball.
Yeah, it's Moneyball on steroids with a little bit of HGH, some cocaine, and some heroin. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. There's so much information. So you have to sift through that, and then you have to sift through everyone that is actually coaching you and that has the ability to fire you, needs you to do certain things for their advantage. So you have that element. And then you also have the element of, like, self-identity. Who are you? Where do I actually fit? And then kind of looking around and saying, okay, I do fit here, I don't fit here, but you have to look so deep. So yeah, the mental side of it, not even playing is ridiculous, especially now. There's kids in high school that have, Nike deals.
Right.
It's just a different world.
Yeah.
So you're getting groomed at an early age that you're the best on the planet. And all reality is there's kids in Latin America that are better than you. There's kids in Japan that are better than you. There's kids in Korea that are better than you. And they're all going to come here and try to take your job. And then, oh, yeah, now you got to go play.
Yeah.
And trust that 0-2 breaking ball that has an end zone rating of 90% out of the zone, that you're not going to swing at it.
Yeah.
Because it says 90% it's going to be out of the zone, and you'll probably swing at it.
Yeah, and don't you think we're a perfect example of an organization, kind of unfortunately, but like I think when Garrett Cole went to the Astros, immediately leaving the Pirates, they unlocked I think it was his curveball at the time, and he ended up having an insane rate. I think he was like Cy Young Award, like one of the top guys for that. I don't know if he won it that year, but point being is I'm pretty sure I remember hearing the analytics and how much he really liked how the Astros did that in comparison to the Pirates organization. And he ended up having a strikeout rate on that one pitch that he's now throwing. Like, he'd throw it the first pitch. I guess with the Pirates, he might have only thrown it as like a strikeout pitch. And that completely changed his direction for his career. And like, we've seen so many guys. I mean, I think it's a motto for the Pirates. It's like, we get joked around. It's like we are a AAA team because then guys leave and then they go have their career launches from there. But can you just like talk about that a little bit? Like, because then when these other organizations, they have different analytics, they have a little bit better technology. It really just amplifies these players at a whole nother level where they're really getting the full potential out of these guys.
Yeah, everybody's looking for that secret code. Space Jam.
There's no secret stuff.
Yeah, there's secret stuff. Michael's secret stuff, dude.
I know. In Space Jam, there is.
In Space Jam. Well, Space Jam's real, okay? Right. I have a Pap. He's right over there.
Yeah.
I'll go with Garrett Cole first. So Garrett Cole is a generational talent, very similar to Skenes. Mm-hmm. And during that time, when they drafted him, the Pirates were way ahead of the curve.
Right.
Sinker, slider, creating a lot of early contact, getting guys deeper into ball games. And, I mean, Garrett Cole was an easy sign, right?
Yeah.
But they were ahead, and then they didn't leave that when the game was shifting.
Mm.
And that was the problem. So
Right.
when he went to Houston, it's not that the Pirates didn't have that ability.
Yeah.
They weren't willing to look at what would make Garrett Cole the best
new one,
version of Garrett Cole.
Wow. Yeah,
So he started creating high spin in the zone, which automatically makes his sinker better because 98 up here, what are you looking for? The sinker elevated, now you're swinging at it. And then that makes the breaking ball play better, right?
Right.
And because he was spinning it better here, he started spinning it better with his breaking ball.
Mm.
So everything started to change rapidly.
Very quickly.
And then he still has that ace stuff that he had here. I mean, he was an all-star here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was really good. That sinker slider never left.
Right.
His ability to control the zone never left. He just added two elements, were up and down, which he never had.
Yeah.
So now you have to cover all four quadrants against 98. It's impossible.
Right.
So it changed everything for him. You can talk about Charlie Morton. Now the game has shifted to where everyone has this ability.
Right.
Most of these guys have their own rap, so they have their own TrackMan, so they can go do it themselves. I think it's overdone, and they fall in love with certain pitches. We saw Mitch Keller fall in love with his cutter last year, and it got beat up because it was his new toy.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wants to use the new toy. I mean, right?
Yeah.
You get a new toy, you unwrap it, you want to use it. And that was my fear with Paul Skenes, but then I remember it's Paul Skenes. He gets a cutter, and of course he's Paul Skenes, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, he throws like 9 pitches now, right?
He's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I tried to hit off of him on a traject machine, which is like it's a projection of Paul Skenes, and it's the exact release at the height. He releases the ball behind you as a righty.
You can't see it.
Well, okay, so we call it the Goldilocks effect. So he throws 102. It goes up this way. It runs this way, right? He has a sinker, which used to be the splinker. It goes down and in. The changeup plays just off of it, right?
That's
And
crazy.
then he has a sweeper that goes this way, a slider that goes this way, and now a cutter that goes this way.
Yeah.
So he throws it here. It all releases at the exact same spot, and it goes to 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
You can't cover it. I asked him, I was like, will you repeat some pitches to see if I can figure this out? And I made him repeat the splinker, and I finally hit him. And I knew it was coming. I told him where to throw it, and I swung where I thought it was going to be. That's how I hit him. Because you can't cover.
You had to guess.
You
That's
can't
crazy.
cover because he's horizontal. You can't cover it all. And when he goes vertical, it is impossible.
This might be a bold statement. Is he one of the, or it might be a bold statement that you might make? Is he the best that you've seen at this age?
He's the best.
That you've ever
Wow.
seen right
Best.
now?
You ain't
Yeah.
even
Period.
You didn't even take a second to think about it.
Yeah,
No,
it's
like
crazy.
they don't make. I mean,
You don't
put
make
it-
him like him, dude. He's
you
fucking.
put in
He's a
perspective. We
robot.
almost didn't take him in the draft, which is crazy. But like you
Yeah.
put in perspective.
Why?
Leaves-
Why?
That's the Pirates.
The dude can fly a fighter jet, right? That's one.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, he was an All-American as an offensive player,
He was a catcher too, right?
catcher. Yeah. At Air Force, went to LSU, made it. So he went on the biggest stage. He led the team. Quote from the actual coach there. Led the team. His first year there, led the team. Started dating the biggest influencer on the planet in college.
Yeah.
Signed with the Pirates. Could have walked straight into the big leagues, but that's another story. In his profile on his pitches, literally all 4 pitches he came out of college with were elite. Like not good, elite. And you mix that with the makeup, the mindset, the ability to adapt on the fly. He had a game last year against Seattle. I got to talk to him about it. I was like, bro, walk me through what you were searching for. And he walked me through step by step, batter by batter. And the dude's 21 years old. That's the craziest part to me. Like he could have done it like right out of the draft and been elite. The fact that they kind of pushed him along last year and he still did what he did.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That is wild.
I want to ask
Crazy.
you, because you brought up like the cat and mouse between pitchers, catchers, and hitters. How much more detail is like a playoff game when they have a little time to study the whole lineup? You guys meet a ton more you're meeting at the mound a ton more. Like how much more cat and mouse goes into it in a playoff game than as opposed to a regular season game?
If I'm honest, if I had a playoff game tomorrow, I'd burn the computers.
You would just say, based on what you know about that hitter, you'd be like, this is how we're pitching and fuck with the analytics.
Yeah, especially early on. Maybe not when we get to the World Series.
Yeah.
But you've played these teams.
Yeah.
And I think they overcomplicate it in the biggest moments. I mean, I remember that in the playoffs in the past and also making playoff runs. And then I also remember winning the national championship in AAA my last year, and we didn't use any of it at the end.
Oh, wow.
And it's because we were like, we're better.
Yeah.
Like, let's go off our strengths and adapt to the game.
And not play to what someone
because-
else is telling us to play.
Yeah, you're raising the bar and raising the anxiety immediately when you're like, you have to do this, it's this. And I watched Marlon Byrd throw his kettlebell up and down and be like, all right, it's time to go hit homers. Like, that's it. That's all he did. And he went and hit homers in the playoffs when he was here.
I love
and
that.
I learned from that. I was like, oh, that's the no-brainer. And then, like, Russell Martin, I led the meetings in the playoffs. He didn't say a word. He just sat back, adapted the game, listened to me, and went on.
Wow.
Because, like, it simplifies it. Even when I went to the Cardinals, Yachty made me run the meeting. I never understood why. It's Yachty.
Yeah.
He's one
It's
of the
because everybody's going to listen to what he says no matter what. He wanted to see if I had anything to give, and then he let me run the next meeting and the next meeting.
Wow.
And it was cool, one, because he kind of deemed me that honor, but it taught me some things. Like, sometimes you're going to learn a lot more, especially if you've gained that trust. Russell had the trust. He let me do that all year long, and I never understood it until I saw Yachty do the same thing.
Wow, that's cool. What percentage of the time when you go out and you meet with a pitcher, the catcher goes out, if he's in a little rut or whatever, like what percentage of the time are you just not saying anything and you're just like, let's go, let's fucking get this back?
I'll tell you.
Like, give me your best story with that, because like everyone boos when you go out. If you're in an away game, we're booing the hell out
And
of
I'll
you.
boo back.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I did with Tyler Matzik. So Tyler Matzik, if you don't know his story, he ended up having the yips. So he was 5th in Rookie of the Year voting. I was his personal catcher at 14. And I'd walk out to him like, hey, T, you found your T's today? And it locked him in.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, if I'd have had a Fort McKenry when I was in college, I'd have made it to the league.
Yeah.
I'd have made it to the league.
But it's all about adapting for you guys. That's my entire job, is how can I pull out the best of this guy? There's other guys that do the exact opposite. There was Latin guys that didn't even know what I was saying, and I'd go out and say something ridiculous in Spanish, some words put together that I didn't know what it meant.
For real?
Yeah, because I knew,
You're not like, this is like,
He's dead ass.
carne. I knew carne. So, like, I'd mix a bunch of words and say, carne, and they'd be, ha! And sure enough, they would settle down. And I'd always make sure, and I got in trouble for this a lot, is I would throw the game that needed to be thrown. So, like, we're playing against the Nationals. We have a rookie making a debut. His name's Yonder Flande, right? And, dude, he was probably eating chicken nuggets and, sipping on Coca-Cola and playing with his Happy Meal before the game. Like, he was that young and he was that naive.
That talented,
He
too.
thought he could beat Max Scherzer, and I fed into it. I was like, Poppy, Max Scherzer going down. He's like,
Oh.
all day. And everybody's like, yeah, right, this is never going to happen. Zimmerman's hot. The only person that's not hot is Harper. Sure enough, 6th inning, Flande's still in, Scherzer's coming out. And we win that ball game, and we threw 68 changeups out of like 85 pitches.
Wow.
And they're like, Mac, what are you doing? I'm like,
Winning.
That's exactly what I said. And then we brought in a kid named Tommy Canley. He pitched in the playoffs last year with the Yankees, and he threw like 58 changeups in a row. That started in a Rockies uniform because we threw it over and over again. He threw 100, and they pulled me in the office the next day, me and Canley, and said, Canley, what were you thinking? He goes, I don't know. I was doing whatever Mac told me to do. And then he left the room, and they're like, you got to make him throw his fastball. I was like,
No.
did we win? And my catching coach, it was like, he said some foul language, but like he was pissed. He was like, what are we trying to do? And that's the balance of the mind game that you're talking about. Is like he was just trusting me and was naive enough to do it, but it's made him who he is today. Because now, to this day, last year he threw 50 changeups in a row.
That's
50.
crazy.
He throws 100, and nobody hit him. That's how good it was. And it's like, I'm just saying they're not hitting it. He can't throw strikes with a fastball because you put him in as a closer. He's never closed a game in his life, and he's facing Ryan Zimmerman, who's hotter than sin. When he's hot, you can't get him out. Bryce Harper, the other Zimmerman, shortstop. I can't remember the other guy, but it was right in the middle of the lineup. We walked Zimmerman to get to Harper to strike him out.
Oh, my gosh.
That's crazy. Now, is that like your thing, though? Like the consistent changeups? Like, is that a McKenry thing that people don't know that's your thing?
No, I adapt to the day. It's like
Whatever's working.
Yeah, it's like tactical awareness. Like Navy SEALs, you either do it or you die. And in baseball, like one swing ends it. And sometimes you go against the grain and you tell the guy, like, hey, man, like, I don't like this pitch. Bury it. Like, give me everything you have. It's your conviction. It's your ERA. Bury it for me.
Yeah.
So that way, like, he knows he throws his best one. We move on and we still have it because then you have that balance.
Right.
Because a lot of times you just give in to the pitcher. Like, I'd rather him believe in what he's throwing than throw the right pitch and not believe in it, because most of the time that's going to end very badly.
You talked about him facing Scherzer. Is there like a little mini game in the game between pitchers? Like you want to beat that like if you're especially if you're playing like Skenes and you're a young pitcher, like you want to beat Skenes. Like you're not worried about the hitter. Like you're worried about staying in longer than Skenes and giving up less runs. Is that like a game between a game amongst pitchers?
There should be. And I think that's a dying breed. I think the competitive nature, because of pitch limits, inning limits, all that, they've kind of lost that. I think guys are fighting to stay in longer, and they're not really looking, to who they're facing. I think Skenes will this year. I think he's going to want to beat every single dude that's on the other side, and that's what I want. I want the old school mentality. And the reality of it is, they're blowing out at a 50% rate. Like, what are we waiting on? Like, just let him throw.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the answer. All the gurus are saying this and that, and none of it's been real. None of it's been right. So just let him pitch.
See, in football, we have welcome to the NFL hits. Like, what's your welcome to the MLB? Would it be a hit or
at bat
like situation that you were like, oh shit, like I'm here now?
I had to dress up like a baby my rookie year.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah, rookie hazing, dude.
You gotta tell us about this.
I had my clothes out of my locker, gone, no clue where they went, and I had a giant diaper, a big Depends, some baby oil, and a pacifier. And that's it. Put it on, and they said, come on. We went to the nearest bar and served drinks until we went on the plane. Then I served food on the plane in my nice attire. Felt like I was a good baby. And then when we got to St. Louis, we were about 1.5 miles from the hotel. They dropped us off. Said, see you at the hotel, boys. And then when I got there, they said, we're going out. So I had to go out, and I had my first start the next day.
So you wore that thing all day?
Mm-hmm. No rash either, kid.
Pull-ups?
I tried to get changed. Oh, no. I wasn't a big boy yet.
Oh. Yeah. Dude, honestly, like, these answers are off the wall. I thought I was going to struggle to keep up with the baseball talk, but, like, just, like, shit like that is...
You're welcome.
Yeah, I love this.
So that was your rookie hazing. Is that a big thing in the MLB, rookie hazing?
It was, and it's kind of died a little bit.
Yeah.
They kind of pick and choose. Like in Chicago, if you look up sometime in August, September, you'll see a group of rookies walk into Starbucks full uni.
Oh, my God.
They grab the Starbucks and come back. Full uni in Starbucks. I love it. Like, and I mean, some people don't like the hazing and whatnot. Like, I got hazed. I had to sing I'm a Little Teapot on Good Morning America. They were there. It's like I'm a little teapot. And then I had to learn the Dominican national anthem in English, which doesn't translate.
Do you still know it?
No, I have like 3 learning disabilities, so like it was a nightmare. I didn't sleep for 48 hours, and then I got up there and I was like, baseball, and I just ran away.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do. I was so terrified. Then I had to sing. Wish it was a little bit taller. I do know most of that still. I do know
You ever
most
get
of that
hazed?
still.
Yeah, we do like a rookie show and stuff, and you got to sing and
What you do?
and then
We did Thriller.
I sang a song.
We did Thriller.
You did Thriller?
Yeah, and then we party
good one.
boyed in our jock straps. The strength coach who made us do it. So like I'm talking straps, so butt cheeks out.
Yeah.
And I got the full throttle around him.
Like full Chris Pine.
You remember that, Brad? You should. Remember that, Brad?
Oh my God! You think Brad's watching this?
Probably.
We should send it
He's
to
a,
him.
he's a psychopath. Brad Henderson.
Great.
You talked about we talked about the draft a little, and you made a comment saying it sucked.
Yeah.
You got drafted in the 7th round.
Yeah, I was an All-American draft in the 7th round. Pretty hard to do. I actually take pride in it now. I think everyone else that was an All-American went in the 1st and 2nd
But there
round.
were 60-some rounds, and you went in the 7th.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me. I said I was going to go top 10 or I was going back to school. I went 7th. I was happy about it. But it's tough watching a guy in your conference that catches go in the 5th round. It's tough watching,
Is that what
multiple
happened?
teams tell you to send in all this stuff. You're on the phone till 12 at night and you think you're going to be drafted by Houston, Miami, and they pass you and they take a catcher early on. It sucked, but I think it built a little bit of resilience, a little bit of rage.
Hell yeah.
Because I was literally mad. I'm like, what did I do wrong? You
Yeah.
know? And nobody still to today has ever told me, but like I'm happy kind of how it turned out. Ended up going well. My first spring training, I was in big league camp, so I proved all the haters wrong. And everybody that I know of that got drafted before me that I was mad about didn't make it.
So what was your process?
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure you remember those names too, the catchers.
I don't. I really don't. One of them's Jordan. I do
Yeah,
remember that.
I know you remember some of them. What was your transition like when you got drafted? I saw you had, you were called up AAA, back down, then played for like a bunch of different teams in that middle. What was that like? We talked to D-Law about it, and he was just saying how, some guys you're making $1,500 a week. Some guys are doing side jobs. Some guys were lucky enough to have a signing bonus from the draft. So what was your experience like?
So I had a little bit of a signing bonus, but I did a little bit different. My trainer told me to be a business. So I bought my own bats, and I did everything a little bit different than everybody
wow.
else. Like everybody else was swinging like pro stock, and I had big league wood. So I felt like it was an advantage.
What do you mean pro stock and big
So,
league
like,
wood? What?
When they get wood from whatever, what is it, a pallet of wood?
Yeah.
Big league wood has different standards. It's harder. The grains are wider apart, which makes it harder to break. It's way stiffer when it's maple, just like my wood. And the reality of it is, it gave me a strategic advantage. Like the ball jumped off my bat different. Like if you do a test now, because they can, ball's going to jump off my old hickories 5-6 mile an hour harder than any minor leaguers pro stock
So
that the team gives them
Why wouldn't every team just
because
do
they're
that? then?
expensive.
They're fucking $1 billion industry.
But I took it upon myself. I did it myself, and still to this day, I have a contract with Old Hickory. Every year they send me 12 bats to give away because I never took a dollar. I made my own model.
Wow.
So like I stayed loyal with them. We started early. They made me pay for my bats, and then kind of all changed as it went along. Same thing with All Star. So yeah, for me it was like do it the right way.
Yeah.
Get what you need. Like even
Pay
with
up
my
front a
cleats.
little,
Like
yeah.
I turned down deals with Nike and different things to stay with All Star to pick the right cleats because I felt better in New Balance when I played. And like just choosing the things that made me a better player, not that made me look cooler. Even though I love a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
Right. But like reality was, if I wore the Jordans, I couldn't wear the gear. So I think a lot of guys make decisions based on what their agent says, and I had to fire my agent because he left me in the Dominican Republic with a concussion. And you have to make these big decisions.
You say you just gonna go right over that and not tell the story?
Yeah.
Like-
Well, it was kind of sad. It's like breaking up with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But he left me there, man. I was waking up and I was like, you guys probably had a concussion. You've definitely had a concussion.
Yeah.
So like, I was waking up and I couldn't see the ball. I felt weird, and I just said, all right, man. It took me about 3 hours, and my wife telling me multiple times, have you
Yeah.
called? But I finally called. It's like breaking up with my high school girlfriend. Left, and then my new agent had me on a flight, headed home within an hour. So
How'd you get that concussion?
I got hit with a foul ball.
Yeah.
Took off part of my ear.
Yep.
And And when I went to the hospital, a resident doctor hit a nerve in my neck, and I had a seizure. And they diagnosed me with epilepsy. So I had all these tests and everything else. They didn't test for a concussion, but I did finally get my epilepsy gone away. And I was able to drive and work, but I didn't get to go play in Europe for USA Baseball. So now that I'm with USA Baseball and I'm going to win my gold in a couple years, it means a lot because they won gold, the guy that replaced me at the home run to win the game. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Good for him, and so happy, and they were so good to me, and I'm happy to be a part of it now.
Yeah, I was reading that. I don't know if that was a touchy subject because I saw you got hurt.
It's cool to tell the kids, like every year when I do the 18U, they have us stand up, and everybody's like, I won a gold medal here and here and here and here. And I'm like, I'm going to win a gold medal.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think it's like Michael McKenry, I'm going to be a gold medalist. And they're like, what?
I love that.
I get to explain that story if anybody comes up, but I never tell my story because I want the kids to come to me. But going back to your minor leagues, like, it's a reality check because I never will forget when my scout was like, yeah, you're going to Tri-Cities. I'm like, yeah, staying in Tennessee. He's like, no. You're going to Washington State. I was like, like D.C.? He's like, no, a desert in Washington State. It's on the other side of the world. I was like, what?
Yeah, talk about those extreme environments. Like, I don't think people have any idea what single, double, triple A looks like. Talk about like dudes sleeping on floors and like, you basically got like 8 to 10 teammates like living together.
The reality of when I walked into the clubhouse, one, I had a buku of stuff in my locker, so I felt really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go shower to wake up, and I just see Hammer Time right in front of me because the showers are here. Nothing down here. So we got window down below. Mm-hmm. Saw a lot of uncircumcision down there too, and it was really weird. So immediately I get to know my guys, and there's 70 of them, right? Because like they're coming from extended spring training. So that was different. And then we went outside, like, where's the cage? And it was like 2 poles and a net, barely standing. Like, all right, here we go. This is what we got. Because you think you're gonna have great facilities, place to like go train, and then we go out in the field. It's like 108 during batting practice, and then it's 60, 50, 45 by the time game starts. I'm like, what is happening? Because we were in the desert. It was nuts. Like, it was a culture shock because I'd never been that far west.
Yeah.
Then we go 2 hours north to Spokane, and we're in the woods, and it's beautiful. And I feel like I'm one with nature.
That's literally nuts. And then I was reading something. You got traded to Boston, historic franchise. Was that a cool moment, or was that a moment of you being like, fuck, I got traded, this team doesn't value me anymore, they're kind of shipping me off? And then another side of you like, but they're shipping me to Boston.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So it was a weird spring training. I had a really good spring, and they kept sending me down to catch the big league guys on the minor league side. And I was like, it's cool, I'm getting at bats. I was hitting great, but I wasn't playing in the big league games. And when I did, I played really well. And I'm like, I thought I was going to get a chance to compete for the backup, but it just seemed weird. So they are like, hey, we're going to send you down. And literally that day, I'm starting for the AAA team. And then my manager goes, hey, Mac, go to the bullpen, but don't catch. I was like, so I can't play. Why can't I play? Right. Me, I'm like, bro, why can't I play?
He knew he was traded.
So I just went down there. I started catching bullpens against him. And then my wife is like, you got traded. I'm like, what?
She was there.
Yeah, she showed up to spring. She's like, you got traded. It's on the bottom line, ESPN, everything else. I'm like, where am I going? She's like, Boston. I was like, oh, God, Boston. Here we go. So I get off the field, and they finally tell me 9 innings of minor league game. I'm sitting in the bullpen. Everybody knows, but they didn't just pull me off the field and tell me. Coolest part was I went in with the farm director, the GM, assistant GM, kind of thanked me, whatever, and then the GM's left, and the farm director stayed. And dude cried.
Really?
And just told me how much of an honor it was to have me in the organization. That, like, just some of the nicest things you don't forget. And that's why I went back to spring training just recently with Colorado Rockies, because it has a near and dear place to my heart because it is like family.
Yeah.
So I go from there, and I go in the weight room, and I do snatch. Because I love Olympic lifting. They said I could never snatch, so I wasn't a Rocky anymore. So I went in there, snatched and cleaned, and then squatted my rear end off just to say goodbye and do everything they don't like me doing because they couldn't even say no. I would do it anyways, but I kind of went a little loud.
Yeah, you want to.
I had fun, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it because I'm a giant meathead. So then I ship off to Boston, and literally a day after I'm in Fort Myers, they tell me I make the big league club.
Wow.
I go to Dallas, and they're like, but don't leave the hotel room. Like, okay. So I sat in the hotel room for a week waiting to see if Veritek's shot was going to help his arm. And there was no taxi squad, so I didn't get any time. And then I flew back to Fort Myers, caught a couple guys, and then shipped up to AAA. And I went on the taxi squad a couple more times, still didn't get any time. Now you get service time. And to put that in perspective, I have maybe 10 days under 5 years. That's half pension.
Yeah.
Those 10 days I would have easily gotten in Boston as a taxi squad.
So when you
And you get paid for that day too, which is good money.
That's
nowadays.
what I was about to ask you. When you're getting called to go pitch and go catch for big league guys down in the minors that are trying to work their way back up, are you getting paid your salary from the minors? Or are you getting a split of your major league contract? Or
so it depends on where you're at in your career. So if you're a first year 40-man guy, when I was there, you would get 35 to 38,000 your first year 40-man when you got sent down.
40 man's the total roster of the minors.
The total roster of the big league squad.
Big league squad's 40 man.
Big league 40-man roster. And if you went up, you got big league minimum.
Yeah.
Second year, I think it was 65. And then third year was 105. So you had a split. But then when you became a free agent, you had a split deal or you had a big league deal. So if they sent you down or designated you and you accept your assignment, they pay you. So whatever your big league salary is. And then there's also split contracts.
But you could decline an assignment?
You can, and a lot of times you would if you weren't under a big league contract. So if I signed a major league deal, yeah. I never got sent down when I was under a major league contract. I got sent down when I was under a split contract where I had 10 and 5 rights where I would have gotten, I think, 60% of X amount of dollars or whatever. Big mistake I made by signing with Atlanta. I lost like, I don't know, $250,000. Because I made a bad decision because they lied to me.
See, it's crazy. We talk, I feel like football guys are envious of basketball and baseball guys because we hear guaranteed money. But it's not guaranteed money unless you're top tier pick that's getting that signing bonus. But if you're like a 7th round pick, yeah, you got your guaranteed signing bonus, but you still got to make it through.
My first check was $68,000 for my signing bonus. My second check later on with that, I got 3 installments. My first check for actually playing was $750.
$750 for playing in the bigs.
No, my first check in the minor leagues. I should have just framed it.
Wow.
Yeah, my next one was like $782.
And it's gone up. It's gone up, obviously.
Yeah, now they have a minor league union,
and they're pretty good. They're pretty good about. They get taken care of a little
paid.
More.
They're getting paid a lot better. But the coolest part is they get fed better.
Yeah,
they travel better. They have it's really just dignity. Like they've actually given these guys a chance to have some dignity, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, we stayed. Like I had a lot of friends that were cockroaches.
You have to be.
Like little Earl was sleeping next to me. Like, hey, bud.
Yeah.
Little rat over here. We stayed at the crappiest places. Peanut butter and jelly mixed with mayonnaise.
Those are the best days, though. You never forget those days.
You never forget it. And for me, like, I could care less. I was chasing my dream. But yeah, like, it would have been nice to have a little bit of favor. Like, I was just in Scottsdale. They're staying at a resort. That's where their minor league stayed. We stayed at a place that, like, I stayed next to a drug dealer. Like, he got raided.
Yeah.
Right? They're staying in a resort. Like, there's a spa there. There's a 2-story gym there. Like, the gym that they had there was a prison yard. Like, it was not normal.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just different. But I wouldn't change it at all. At all.
It's part of the grind and part of the story. Now, for my list,
it makes me tough.
Yeah, and the fact that you ended up in Pittsburgh, and you're known as a Pittsburgh Pirate, and my listeners, I know that our listeners, for a fact, want to hear about your time in Pittsburgh and when you got traded from Boston to Pittsburgh, and then you came in and you made an immediate impact. Like I know for a fact, we all remember the Fort.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So
let's go.
Talk about Pittsburgh. You said you're obviously like this place is home. So talk about the importance of that coming to this organization, and we're trying to win a fucking World Series. We want to win a World Series here. We're serious about it. We're Pirate fans. Like, what are we doing to win a World Series? Come on.
I mean, That's a loaded question.
It's a fucking loaded question. I'm fired up.
Try to win a World Series.
I got Bucko fever right now.
Yeah.
Bad. I'm ready for opening day.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I am too. So going to when I got traded here from Boston, I was the third man in Boston, and actually Sherrington's one of the guys that traded me.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Came
Theo
from
called
Boston.
me, but Sherrington was the first guy that told me I got called up to the big leagues when I was in Boston. But Theo called me, and I'll never forget it because I never met the man, and said, "Thank you for all you did. You deserve this." And then Terry Francona called me next. Never met the man. He said, "Mac, enjoy the ride. You deserve this. Go kick some ass." And I was like, "It's Terry Francona."
That's a legendary coach.
Yeah, and of course my AAA manager called, but they didn't have to do that. Like I got traded multiple times.
That's pretty
and
cool.
The big league manager never called me.
That's crazy.
So
That's
that was
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm in the grocery store. Mama's at home. I'm staying in Polly Pocket's Playland in some attic of some lady's house with a roommate and a wife. And it literally was the refrigerator was this tall. I was taller than it. It was like Polly Pocket's Playland. And one of my favorite stories there is, you know, the air conditioning units that sit in the window.
Yeah.
Michael'd never seen an air conditioning unit in a window. So I go to open the window.
Oh my god.
Right? Without hesitation, boys. Hey, Jack, you know the Misa lady?
Yeah.
I think I just killed her. Nailed it. I was so excited about it. Went down there, picked it up, tossed out those dents, looked about like that, and put it right there. And then when I got traded, I ended up leaving a couple $100. Said sorry. Because I never met the people, and I'm not sure if they actually existed that owned the house and let us rent. So I get traded, and I'm in the grocery store because Jack's not there. She always did the shopping, and I had to re-ring all my stuff, but all the employees started helping. We started putting the stuff back. They're all excited. And I shipped off to Pittsburgh, and sure enough, I was starting day one, catching Paul Maholm. I'll never forget. I walk over.
Wow. I remember
what a
that
name.
name. Paul.
Yeah, I walk over to my locker after, you know, when you get traded, you have to do the scoreboard stuff. All the stuff you do early on,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming. All
Yeah.
the media stuff. So I'm there at 12. They told me to get there. We're playing at 7. But Paul wrote a note and had every hitter in the lineup and what he wanted to do to every single guy, and then said, "But I trust you." And we went out, won, and then I think we won the next 5 or 6. Got my first hit in Houston a couple days later, right over Clint Barmas, who was a teammate of mine.
Barmas, wow.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Colorado, and then in Pittsburgh. So, like, yeah, it's full circle, dude. Like, and coming here and being a part of that journey, because it was like everything was going wrong. I think I was the 8th catcher.
Yeah.
Right? And I get in, and we just hit steam. We just won series after series after series after series. All of a sudden, we're right at, you know, the pinnacle at first place, middle of July.
Wow.
And then that 19-inning game in Atlanta that was a mess.
Yeah.
Kind of shifted things. I'm not going to put that to blame, but like I think it morally defeated us. But also a lot of the older guys that weren't part of the journey came back off the DL. Yeah. And a lot of the dudes that were like myself and Josh Harrison and some other guys that were playing, Alex Presley, just went over, sat on the bench. So we lost. I would say we lost energy. I wouldn't say we lost talent because those guys were way more talented than probably all of us.
Yeah.
But the spark, like Josh Harrison was a spark plug.
Spark.
Alex Presley was a spark plug. I took pride in having energy on the field and trying to eat people's face off.
Yeah.
So like I think we lost a little bit of that, and we kind of fell apart in 12. Same thing, but we just didn't have the depth in 12 is what it was. But
Yeah.
in 13, it just kind of came full circle. Like everything that could have lined up well. And, you know, guys had some of the best years of their career. Like Pedro Alvarez is the unsung hero of that team. Nobody talks about it, but like without him, we're nowhere near the playoffs because he gave the opportunity, which I know that's Kutch's MVP season, but Kutch's MVP season was 12. He had a way better year. 13, Pedro Alvarez was the MVP because he allowed Kutch to have that year because nobody would have pitched Kutch. Nobody would have pitched Kutch unless they put Pedro behind him. And Pedro had 36 homers that year, made the All-Star team.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy.
And that put a dynamic in the middle of our lineup that we didn't have. And then you throw Marte at the front. That's a really, really good lineup.
Is it wild for you to see
No Walker hit the second, by the way.
Neil? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it wild for you to see Kutch like come full circle and be back with the Pirates these last couple years?
I just hate he left.
Me too.
Those 5 years, I
He deserved to go
I
get.
loathe the fact that he left, honestly.
He deserved to go get.
And I know
paid.
Bob wanted him. Bob wanted him to stay, and they got an incredible deal with the Nationals. That fell through. I think Bob's the one that pulled it back. He wanted to sign him. long term, for some reason, it didn't come to fruition. I know Kutch wanted to, and I know the number, and it was reasonable. He wanted to be a Pirate for life, and I hope that whether it's this year, next year, or the following year, that we send him off well, and then we make sure that man is retired a Pirate and stays a Pirate. And for me, like, sign him for life. Like, I don't care what number it is, sign him. Because that's a guy you want to sign. Same thing with Paul Skenes. Like, when you meet people that are good for the city and have that rapport, that Pirate in them, like AJ Burnett, I want him back so bad.
Yes.
I was talking to him the other day, and he wants to be back. And you just want to grab him and pull him in, so maybe we can get him in here.
What he used to say,
have a good talk.
He used to tell him, sit the fuck down.
I like
that
that,
shirt.
though.
You gotta get the
Oh,
shirt,
that was the
dude.
best, dude. He was
got a
the
whole merch
best.
line out.
He's a Pirate.
He was so fun. He used to bring so much energy. Like, you'd be in the stands wanting to go to war with AJ Burnett.
Yeah,
I'd be like, dude, I want to be in the dugout with that guy. Because
As soon as Beautiful
right.
People came on, I was just banging my head,
he's
ready to go.
he got. I got the
I
chills
know,
thinking
dude,
about
same.
AJ Burnett hitting the mound. Like, that gets you fired up.
But think about that. Like, I mean, you all grew up Pirates fans. Like, I think that's the one thing we're missing is the identity of, like, who we are.
Right,
And I
energy
say,
is
what
huge.
better thing to be than a Pirate?
Yeah.
We're gonna pillage.
Yeah.
We're gonna take everything and not feel sorry about it, right?
Fucking
With that
savage.
little
That's
dip in the mouth that Pirate has, that the logo has, which is hilarious because tobacco-free zone. So, like, I think it'd be awesome if we would just go all in, have a Pirate ship out there,
Yep.
get a cannonball.
Everything.
I say
Everything.
we get you and Christian on the dugouts,
Going nuts.
just going absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Lips
real
full of
swords.
zen, just like
With the Pirate
nuts.
Parrot. I love the Pirate Parrot. He
I
does a
feel like
good
that's
job.
the most important part about sports, though, is the energy. Like, you could tell automatically if a team's going to win something based on the energy the team has. Like, you sit on the sidelines and you just watch your team comes out and how they start. If they're flat, you're like, I can guess they're going to probably lose this game. You know what I mean? So when you talk about guys and the energy that they brought to the team, it's no wonder you made it to the playoffs, right? Like, for the Steelers, like, I know when the Steelers are coming with it based on how guys come out of the tunnel.
Dude, I
Yeah,
went to
I
my
mean-
first game. It was awesome.
It was nice.
Did?
Yeah.
Which game?
The Ravens at home.
Oh, nice
that's a
one. We
great
won
game
that
to go
one.
to.
We 6 field goals.
Yeah.
I was a working.
You
that
were
day,
working
right?
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an incredible
We
game. I
like-
sat in third deck, just full Yinzer.
Love that.
Loved
He
it.
said full yes.
Drink get a $13 beer, wave the towel,
Absolutely.
dump it on your head.
Oh, when Renegade came on,
fired up.
I thought I was floating.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
really did. I really did.
That's a
better.
different. That's
Yeah.
that's different, especially when we're winning and we need one stop. It's like a 1-score game. They play Renegade. We make a big play.
But I didn't even know what was happening.
Don't get me
I
started.
didn't know the scoreboard went black, and that's when the call was.
Oh.
I didn't know that was a Pittsburgh call. Now I do.
It's a big call.
So every time I drive by, I think it's going to play, and it doesn't play.
You got to be in a big moment.
Well, every time I drive by is a big moment.
You're right. You're right.
One thing, going back to like baseball, and I think it's very different than football, is I never feel like teams are prepared to win in baseball.
Wow.
Think about it, right?
Wow, that's interesting. Talk about
Like if it was the case, it'd be like college football and college baseball,
that.
right? Like think about it. Like if Paul Skenes is starting opening day in Miami, whoever's starting opening day here, like it should be like 1940. Somebody should be out in front right now yelling who's starting, like getting excited. Like, and I don't know why that is. Nobody can seem to have an answer to it, but like, why not be prepared to win? Like, I haven't heard we're going to win the division. We are going to make the playoffs. I haven't heard that at all. You don't hear that from anybody.
Yeah.
Right? It's a weird dynamic in this game. It's like, and I think that's an edge you can take. I think we're going to hear it from the Reds.
Wow.
Is it because baseball's naturally like a losing sport? Like to bat 300 could get you in the Hall of Fame, but that's 3 out of 10. Like, is that just the mentality, or is it a humble sport? Is it what do you think that comes from?
Question, Jesse.
I think it's a lost sport right now with its identity. I think there's a lot of fight between big market, small market, owners, players, owners and owners. There's a lot going on, and I think they're kind of losing that original. It's America's pastime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special game.
Yeah.
Like when we shut down during COVID, I was like, well, we're no longer America's pastime. We're no longer the sport that people go to during the worst times of their lives. You know, because we're the only sport that never stopped.
Right.
And we stopped. And I think in that moment, a little shift happened, and I get it. But I think there's a reality to it that it should be different.
Yeah.
And as of late, I think we're chasing the NBA. I think we're chasing the NFL when we should be watching college baseball because it's awesome.
Sick.
It's so sick.
Yeah, I agree. When big leaguers come to Pittsburgh, do they look forward to playing at PNC Park? Because I feel like I tell people all the time this is the nicest park in baseball. Granted, I haven't been to every park in America, but I genuinely feel like PNC Park's one of the nicest. Do other MLB players feel that way?
Yes. Yes.
So they come to Pittsburgh, they're like, this park's fucking immaculate.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge play you could have for free agency. And I think if they brought in left field, you'd get more hitters. Because it's a huge left field. It's not a hitter-friendly place.
It's not a
at all.
hitter-friendly place.
Yeah, but
Left
pitchers
centers.
love to come here. That's why we continually get guys that maybe want to revamp. They want to come here. They want to go to San Diego. They want to go to places where they can get away with a little bit more. And here you can. Like, we're going to get left-handed fly ball guys until they're blue in the face, and we're going to try to throw them as often as possible at home because it's going to die at 404 right there.
Wouldn't every hitter want to go to Colorado?
Because every hitter wants to go to Cincinnati, Milwaukee.
Why?
Colorado, you don't recover.
Yeah. It's the
So, like, Colorado is not the home run place. It's the base hit place. If I was a line drive hitter that hit for a high average, I'd go to Colorado in a heartbeat because then power numbers are going to go up, and you're probably someone that's, used to running around. We're going to recover
So
pretty
why
fast.
do they want to go to Cincy and Milwaukee? Ballpark? Just ballpark
Cincy is
structure?
a freaking bandbox.
What does that mean? You can just hit homers?
Oh, you sneeze and it goes out. It's a joke, honestly. Like, you can see the numbers now. They have like
It's crazy.
numbers like actual home runs and home runs induced by ballpark in Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Arizona is a joke because it's so fast. Like, the one disadvantage PNC has is it has Kentucky bluegrass. We're one of two teams, and we keep it a lot higher than most. It's the slowest grass on the planet. So you want to raise our batting average 10 points, cut the grass shorter. Get Bermuda, maybe 15.
Yeah, the ball will be skipping.
Yeah, like, you bring in Ohtani, Trout, anybody into PNC, their average will drop 10 points.
That's
Wow.
That's a smart play to a degree for the opposition, though, right? Like,
You both got to
but
play
you
in
both
it.
got to play in it. I get
Don't
it.
matter.
But they're not playing every game here.
yeah.
That's
They're
true.
not used
I
to,
got you.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm saying when Ohtani, flicks the ball just left of the second baseman and is able to beat it out because the guy's stretching because it's 8 miles an hour harder.
Right.
Yeah.
He's able to beat that out. We're here, it's slow. They're attacking the ball and they can throw him out.
Wow.
There's so much stuff that goes into baseball that you don't, like, no one even.
100%.
I
I
definitely
would never even
would've
think of
thought
that.
Yep.
And I consider myself a big sports guy. Like, I feel like I'm knowledgeable in a lot of sports, but fuck,
It's wild, man.
wild.
Yeah, the force plates, pitch design,
Yeah.
slow motion caption cameras. Like, I mean, I could show you, and if you guys want to use it for the podcast, like, some of the data that they get immediately. It's unreal. Like, they identify if you're a vertical pitcher, horizontal pitcher, traditional pitcher,
Well, it's
and that's how you map out your game plan of, like,
That's
what's
crazy.
your best pitches and what area you should focus on. It's
nuts.
wild.
Well, before we get you out of here, I want to ask one final question. Give me your best charge the mound moment, best skirmish you've ever been in, fight story, anything.
I can only imagine. What
Give me something. Give me something great. Give
Say
me
some off the wall shit.
Yeah, like I know you've been in a couple bench clearing brawls,
So the
And
best ones are off the field.
and the catcher's in the middle of it. Like,
I almost threw a
always.
guy over the balcony, breaking up a fight. In
You're just
college.
talking about like a regular fight.
Yeah, it was a team fight. I picked him up and told him I'd end him.
Yeah,
Um,
and you almost ended
I
him.
did almost end him. Yeah,
Yeah.
the two pitchers fighting each other. I don't know what was going on. I pulled a knife out of a guy's hand that was going to stab another player. I watched a pitching coach go through a window from a pitcher throwing him through it. And I watched him, the same guy, manhandle our strength coach, and I made fun of him the rest of the year. I was like, hey,
Yeah,
strength coach, so strong. It's so funny. Threw him around like a rag doll. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of different things. Probably the craziest one, I was actually at home. My wife's dad was sick, and he ended up passing away. And the other catcher that was there came from behind and broke someone's orbital bone one punch. And I was like, that's the coolest guy I've ever met. Broke his orbital bone in one punch.
That's
Sorry for the guy that got hit, but there was a reason for all of it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy stories.
Wow.
The craziest one I've ever seen is the one in Pittsburgh. I was actually calling the game when kid from the Reds
what was his
just like took on the whole entire team.
Yeah.
I was like it all ended. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, Brownie. I'd go to war with that guy.
Yeah. He's tough.
Yeah, like I don't agree with what he did. I don't like what he did. There's a lot of John whatever, but that was awesome because I watched Puig pretend because he never really wanted to fight. He'd just go like this, and they'd pull him back. And it was like whatever. But that dude literally wanted to take everybody on.
Oh,
You
yeah.
really see what guys are made of. I always tried to break it up and said until I get hit, I'm not going to snap.
Right.
If I snap, it's not good for anybody. But yeah,
It was Amir Garrett. It was
Amir
Amir Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
dude,
was one of the
when
craziest
he just
shits.
dropped it with like this and just started
Yeah.
going, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Are there big fines for those guys that charge the mound? Like the NFL gets fined, obviously. for
Not
doing
as
dumb
much
shit.
as you guys, but
Yeah.
yeah. And they let us give it to charity.
It's cool.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure ours goes to charity as well. We don't see it. It goes to an NFL fund and they give
I
it
got
to
a
charity.
cool. I got a cool like show moment. So they came out this new rule. I think it was 2014. In spring training, they came in like, "Hey, you have to keep 1 foot in the box. If you violate it twice in a series or in a game, I can't remember. Like, we're gonna fine you."
Wow.
Tulo raised his hand. He goes, "What would a fine be for every game?" And they like thought about it and they said it. Dude wrote a check, handed it to him. Said, "Don't bother me again." It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was like 180 grand. Just
Nuh-uh.
Tolo
bother
was
me
that
again.
guy.
I was like,
Tolo
that
was
is
He's
the
a
crazy.
dog. That's
baddest.
a dog move right
That
there.
is phenomenal.
Dude also bought all of his bats. Team didn't
Yeah.
buy bats, so if they broke, he kept them.
He was
So
sick.
it went to his charity. He bought his uniforms.
Yeah.
He did nothing. He didn't allow the team to buy anything, so he had control and he sold it and gave it all back to his charity.
I love that.
Isn't that
That's
sick?
huge.
Yeah, that is sick.
Yeah,
That's cool as
That's
hell.
crazy.
yeah.
That is cool.
We talked about on the, I know we're wrapping up. We talked about on the last episode, like figuring out like what the fine level is for like, you know, celebrations with guns and stuff. Like, I think we should like raise money so
finger
that you can
pistols.
write that
Yeah.
check at the beginning of the season, and then like you guys
something
ever
about-
played Duck Hunt,
Yeah.
like the Mario game? So like yeah, you should snap it, and then when Boz, like you're just
That
what
would
I
be
mean?
dope. That'd be dope.
Let's just make sure all the officers know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do. Yeah.
Clack clack. Oh no.
I gotta still keep my job. If I start taking 15-yard penalties, I won't have my job.
That's exactly.
they won't have me anymore, dude.
I'll tell you, I got one more that you probably would like.
worth it.
So my first call up, my locker was next to Todd Elton. Todd Elton was my like childhood hero because
Stud.
he's from Knoxville. Same trainer. My mentor is like one of his really good friends and's been there through a lot of life with him. So I get my first check. He takes my check and hands me his check. Ruined my life. $498,000 every 2 weeks.
Yo.
And instead of being able to see my first check, which is like incredible, you know, your first big league check,
Yeah.
I had to look at that.
Yeah.
He goes,
Rado ran so fast.
and I don't remember what he said, but it was something to the extent of like, "Don't you wish you were me?"
I'd have punched
Say,
him dead in his face.
thanks, bro. Yeah.
I've been like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Give me that check. I'm going to
Give me that
cash.
Yeah. Sign the back of it. Thanks, bud.
Shit. Well, Fort, it's been real. I appreciate you coming on. Boys, Jess, behind the boards. Appreciate you, Vin, Trey.
Fun, dude.
Season 1, episode 37. We're cooking, yeah. Like, share, subscribe,
Hey,
retweet.
don't forget that Stage AE coming up.
Stage AE draft party.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're doing a live show
Or you coming?
April 24th.
What you doing
If
for
I
the
can,
draft?
yeah, I'll come by.
Stop by. We'll be there. We're doing a little painting, some shoes, some fundraising.
All kinds of stuff cooking.
Body painting.
No body painting.
Nah, for it. Nah.
I mean,
Nah, for it.
No
No,
body painting
no.
for it.
You'd have to shave for that. For it. We know that you
I didn't say me. I was just in general. You know, I didn't know.
Like, share, subscribe, retweet, repost.
One more.